You are going to hear a rumor one day that Voddie Baucham is no more. Don't you believe it? Don't you believe it? Because though I die, I will rise with Christ. It will not be the end of me, because Christ is raised, and I too will be raised with Christ. That is why he is called the firstborn from the dead. Folks, you don't talk about a firstborn unless there are others who are born after. Don't you pity me. You pity the one who wants to hold on to Jesus without holding on to the resurrection. You pity the one who has absolutely no hope because they have no resurrected Christ.
You're watching Family
Movie.
Dr. Voddie T. Baucham Jr. died from a medical emergency on September 25, 2025. He was the president of Founders Seminary in Cape Coral, Florida, pastor and author of several books, including Fault Lines, The Social Justice Movement and Evangelicalism's Looming Catastrophe, Expository Apologetics, Answering Objections with the Power of the Word, Family-Driven Faith, Doing What It Takes to Raise Sons and Daughters Who Will Walk with God, Family Shepherds, Calling and Equipping Men to Lead Their Homes, and others. Dr. Baucham has had a tremendous impact on me in my spiritual growth, as I have read many of his books and heard numerous of his sermons available online. I highly recommend him and encourage all of you to check out some of the sermons from this Chuck Norris of preachers.
Chuck Norris? What about him?
I say that because Dr. Baucham was a pastor, a patriot, a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu champion, and he liked guns. Oh, and did I mention he was from Texas? Whether preaching, participating in a Q&A panel, or debating, Baucham seemed unstoppable. Even in 2021, when he was rushed from Africa to Florida after being diagnosed with heart failure, he did not stop. He may have slowed down for a little bit, but his fervor and zeal for the gospel would not rest. It still does not rest. One of the things Dr. Baucham frequently talked about was the need for men, Christian men, to man up. To make it easy to remember, he placed the responsibility of Christian manhood into 4 P's. The responsibility to be a priest, a prophet, a provider, and a protector. He described this in more detail in his book, Family Shepherds, but I'll go over them briefly here. The priest represents his people before God. A godly man should be a man who is a spiritual leader, a man of prayer. The prophet represents God before the people. This is a man who knows the Word of God, instructs the Word of God, has an obligation to disciple his wife and children in a Christian worldview. And he has to know the Bible in order to do that. The provider sees that his people have what they need. He needs to have a work ethic that should be a whatever it takes kind of man to provide for those in whom he's responsible. The last one is the protector, the one who puts himself between his people and that which would harm them. It would be physical, spiritual, technological, or things of that nature. This involves wisdom. Wisdom to be a man who's not a fool, who's not going to bring trouble and call trouble, but also not to run from trouble. While I do not aim to neglect the first 3 P's, the premise of this channel will be to primarily look at and discuss the aspect of the 4th, the protector. Knowing how to physically defend yourself and physically protect others is important. That's often what we focus on when we hear the term protector. However, there can be devastating consequences if threats from our screens are not addressed. Whether fiction or not, whether movie, show, stream, post, there is a lot of content out there, sharing lots of ideas. Good ideas can yield good results. bad ideas can have devastating results. It requires wisdom to discern the best way to tackle protecting your family in this aspect, and caution that you don't fall prey to harmful content yourself. Dr. Baucham talked about his enjoyment of movies and how his family looked forward to movie night together. That can be a great thing where memories can be made. But we have to be on guard. We have to be putting good stories into these memories. You can read more about his experiences with that in his book, Family Driven Faith. But for right now, I want you, men, to remember the responsibility given to us. This responsibility is amplified when the titles of husband and father also apply to you. With great power comes great responsibility, according to Uncle Ben. That's a lesson Spider-Man has to learn again and again. So while I can't shoot webs and climb up walls, I have a great deal of influence in my household. I have an obligation and responsibility to guard their physical, mental, and spiritual well-being. With over 100 years of movies out there and countless hours added each day, there's a lot to choose from. So we need to make sure we choose and equip our families to choose wisely. Thanks for watching.